Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Amherst. I'm Lorraine Marcus. My pronouns are she, her. We are so glad you have chosen to be here virtually and in person. Our minister, Reverend Michelle Buheit, is on sabbatical leave through August. Services during this time include guest speakers from near and far and assistance from the sabbatical team thoughtfully assembled by Reverend Michelle, and even more assistance from our tech crew, our greeters, weavers, ushers, musicians, and coffee makers who seek to create a safe and inviting space for all who enter this sanctuary of the UU Amherst. The sabbatical team is aware that the video Letters Home that was part of our service last Sunday was disturbing to some of you. We sincerely apologize for this. Letters Home is a Memorial Day service that has continually evolved in the decade or more since Reverend Michelle and Les Buheit first created it. It may have landed differently this year, given current local, national, and global events. In response, we have reevaluated how we'll review the materials used for our services moving forward. We have shared our evolving plan with the Board of Trustees, who have aligned with and affirmed our next steps and our commitment to being mindful of current events as well as the needs of this congregation. Our team is adjusting to the many facets of service creation, and we ask your patience during this learning curve. As well, we like to remind those of you who were adversely affected that there is pastoral care available. We are here for you. Please take this apology as a sign of the sabbatical team's commitment to improve and inspire. And now we have a board announcement from Karen Kuhn.
Well, it's Thompson now. All right, so today is a question and answer period after the service, so as quickly as you can get back in here. There will be handouts of the budget, the bylaw changes, there's one more. I forgot what it is. Anyways, there'll be handouts that you'll be able to take with you. Then at 7 o'clock tonight, I sent out a link that you should have received if you would like to, if you have questions that pop into your mind that you would like the board to respond to before the annual meeting, please come to the Zoom meeting at 7. Again, the link was sent out on the all-church email. This afternoon, after the meeting for question and answer, and the picnic will start as soon as there are no more questions. And we're going to be, the picnic will start. Okay, next Sunday, the entire service and everything is going to be virtual. The reason for that is New York State not-for-profits are allowed to do Zoom and hybrid, but churches are not. They can only do a virtual meeting or they can do in person. Because we have so many voting members who won't be able to be here physically, the board decided that we would do it by Zoom. The link, Bruce Becker sent the link out. It's in the Friday update and in the newsletter as well. The votes that you will be voting on is your slate for the board, nominating, and the endowment, the GAP budget, the UUA fair share, and one of the reasons that we need to do 100% of the fair share is because we received about $22,000 in grants that are contingent upon our being a fair share giver for the length of the grant, which is this year. We'll be voting on the GAP budget, the minutes, bylaw changes regarding the calendar year, and the sign. In order to be a voting member, you have to have signed the book, and you have to have a pledge of record, and a payment of record for 21-22, and then the 6-month gap pledge. Now, there are some people that I did not personally get to yet, and I've been following up. But if you did not pledge, see me at the end of the service, and I will get you fixed up so that you can be a voting member. For today, Angela will be announcing later that there is an activity for kids and Kids at Heart. If you are not interested in coming to the meeting, they're going to be assembling pinwheels and placing flags, and if there is time, there'll be some sunflower planting as well. All right, thank you so much for your time and attention.
Thanks, Karen. And that for those of you who don't need to be at the Q&A, just follow me out to the lobby. That's where all the supplies are for the pinwheels and the flags. And Shauna Grote and Sam are going to help me, right? For those in the chapel, I invite you now to put your phones on reverence mode, silencing them so that you and all may be fully present and free from distraction. As we gather, we acknowledge that our church is built on land that was once nurtured and cherished by the First Nations people of this region, the Haudenosaunee, and the people known as the Neutrals before them. May we continue to tend this cherished land and courageously cultivate community with all living things. It's been said that Unitarian Universalism is the religion that puts its faith in you, trusting each individual to engage in the spiritual journey and to reach your own conclusions about spiritual matters. We do that in beloved community as we support one another in faith and in friendship. In that spirit, this congregation has created a covenant, a sacred promise of how we will strive to be with one another. Please join me in speaking our covenant. Together we promise to gather in compassionate community, to celebrate diversity of thought and unity of spirit, and to seek wholeness for ourselves, our children, and our world. We begin each gathering by lighting the chalice, the symbol of Unitarian Universalism. Our flaming chalice represents the light of truth, the warmth of community, and the fire of our commitment to foster more compassion and justice in a hurting world. Our chalice lighting words this morning come from the contemporary mystic poet, Shell Ann Harkin. Please join me in speaking these words. We are here to bring forth our light and hold the candles of ourselves to each other. Each of us carries with us into this worship time cares and concerns, joys and sorrows. Together, we create the container where we can put down our burdens, knowing they are gently held by this gathered community. For those joining virtually, I invite you to give voice to that which is on your heart, or perhaps type it into the chat in the live stream. For those here in the chapel, I invite you to come forward and place a stone or shell on the table labyrinth in recognition of that which is on your heart. We now will light a candle for the families of Buffalo, Uvalde, Tulsa, the people and communities of Ukraine and Russia, indeed all of the human and more than human family of life on earth. And may we recommit ourselves to the work of love. Our time for all ages today is Pride, the story of Harvey Milk, and the rainbow flag. We want to honor this Pride Month, in particular this Sunday, where some of us, well, some people, a lot of people will be parading downtown in the city. You have to give them hope. Hope for a better world, hope for a better tomorrow. Harvey Milk was an ordinary man, but he had an extraordinary dream. That dream would change history. Harvey dreamed that everyone, even gay people, would have equality. He dreamed that he and his friends would be treated like everyone else. He dreamed that one day, people would be able to live and love as they pleased. With his New York accent, Harvey talked to everyone about his dream. His voice boomed, his body bounced with energy and excitement. Some people listened, a few agreed, most did not. But Harvey's big voice and his big dream wouldn't be stopped. He discovered that the best way to change laws was to help make laws. In 1977, Harvey Milk took a big step toward that dream when he became one of the first openly gay people to be elected to political office in the United States. Harvey and his friends planned marches to protest inequality and unfair laws. And just days before one of the marches, Harvey had an idea. A symbol, he thought. We need a symbol that shows who we are and how we feel. Something to carry during the march. Something to make people feel they're part of the community. Something to give people hope. Something extraordinary. Harvey knew an artist who could help. Gilbert Baker. Harvey asked. Gilbert said, "We need a flag." Volunteers arrived to help Gilbert's design come to life. Together, they dipped fabric into large barrels filled with vivid, vibrant dyes. They cut and pieced and sewed until Harvey, Gilbert, and the other activists had a flag with 8 colorful stripes, a flag that Harvey hoped would give hope. Rights are won by only by those who make their voices heard. On June 25, 1978, when it was time for the march, a breeze stirred in San Francisco, and the flag unfurled. The wind blew, the flag fluttered, flapped, and flew. A rainbow as bright and unique as the men and women who walked behind it led the march. Harvey and the people asked for equality. They asked to be treated like everyone else. They asked to live and love as they pleased. They hoped the march would make a difference. Harvey was proud of the flag and proud of himself. And he hoped others could be proud too. Five months later, on the morning of November 27, 1978, Harvey and the mayor of San Francisco, George Moscone, were assassinated. Their lives were taken by a man who did not think like Harvey, or feel like him, or love like him. The flag did not fly on that dark, sad night. Instead, thousands and thousands of people marched silently, carrying candles. The candlelight wove through the streets of San Francisco, up and down hills and around city buildings, a mile of glowing candlelight in honor of 2 lives lost. That could have been the end of Harvey's dream and the colorful flag, but it wasn't. More flags were created. Some of the colors changed. 8 stripes became 6 stripes, but the meaning of the flag did not change. It was a flag of equality. More and more people began to think of the flag as their flag, and they began to feel pride, and they began to have hope. In 1994, Gilbert Baker designed another rainbow flag. This one was larger than all the rest. Women and men, side by side, carried the flag, a proud mile-long rainbow floating through New York City. The flag wove through the streets, up and down avenues and boulevards and around city buildings. The people demanded equality. They demanded to be treated like everyone else. They demanded to live and love as they pleased. They were proud, they had hope, and they would make a difference. I ask for the movement to continue, for the movement to grow. More rainbow flags were made. Some were printed on bumper stickers and t-shirts. Others were hoisted onto lampposts on Halsted Street in Chicago. One was hung in the Museum of Modern Art in New York City. Soon, the rainbow flag was flying in other countries like Brazil, England, Israel, Russia, Singapore, and Turkey. The rainbow flag now unfurled on farms, in suburbs, and in cities. The flag flew proudly outside public buildings, hotels, shops, restaurants, churches, and homes. And once, on July 26, 2015, the White House was awash in the colors of the rainbow flag. Equality, pride, hope, love. Harvey's dream became a flag for us all.
Our guest speaker this morning is Reverend Joe Cherry. He serves our sibling congregation in Falmouth, Massachusetts. He is delighted to be visiting us again. He spoke last year, I believe. Reverend Joe was born in Detroit, finished his formal education in Chicago, where he went to seminary with Reverend Michelle. He now lives with his husband, the Reverend Dennis Letourneau, Paul, with their dog, Toulouse. Reverend Dennis serves another of our sibling congregations in Peacedale, Rhode Island. Reverend Joe is a lifelong lover of history and has studied and worked with John D'Amelio, who helped create queer studies as a formal and accepted discipline in the American Academy. So we'll hear more from him later. Our opening words for today. Yes, there's no binary, by Reverend Dr. David Breeden. The road not taken is not a fork. That's too simple a thought. Flipping a coin. Either or, nope. It's not this or that. No or yes. It's nor neither and all of the above and more. The road taken goes every way at once. There, they, them, go, now, live.
Tell you something I think you'll understand when I say that something. I wanna hold your hand, I wanna hold your hand, I wanna hold your hand. Oh, please say to me, you'll let me be your man, and please say to me, you'll let me hold your hand. I wanna hold your hand, I wanna hold your hand. And when I touch you, I feel happy inside. It's such a feeling that my love I can't hide, I can't hide, I can't hide. Yeah, you got that something I think you'll understand when I say that something. I wanna hold your hand, I wanna hold your hand. And when I touch you, I feel happy inside. It's such a feeling that my love I can't hide, I can't hide, I can't hide. Yeah, you got that something I think you'll understand when I feel that something. I wanna hold your hand, I wanna hold your hand, I wanna hold your hand, I wanna hold your hand.
Why pride? I've heard this question before, sometimes from people who think that queer folks should be ashamed of who we are, sometimes by people who maybe don't think that we should be ashamed of who we are, but that maybe we shouldn't make a big deal out about it. Sometimes by people who think it's not a big deal to be queer, that it's just normal, and sometimes by people who wonder why we're still celebrating Pride, considering how far we've come. And for today, I'd like to answer the question of why Pride at all. Pride, which you can't see, but in my script, the word is in all capital letters to signify it's different, to me at least, that's not the same as pride the noun. Pride the noun is defined in the Merriam-Webster dictionary as a high or inordinate opinion of one's own dignity, importance, merit, or superiority, whether as cherished in the mind or displayed in the bearing of conduct, etc. Pride is a complicated concept. We have warnings about pride. We say that things like pride goeth before the fall, and pride is one of the 7 deadly sins. We think that pride belongs to the powerful, like a lion, or a group of lions, which is actually called a pride of lions. But pride, as capitalized, to me feels different. Pride, in this way, is not arrogant or an inordinately high opinion of oneself. Pride is the recognition of an individual's journey. An individual journey taken by many individuals. A crossing of a metaphorical bridge that takes one from a place of shame into a place of love. And from this journey, taken by millions, comes the manifested power of love. I am only one individual who has crossed this bridge, and so like all individual experiences and tales of those experiences, my story is a myopic one, told from one point of view. My story as a queer person, as I step from the hiding places of fear into the bright sunlight, is not the same as others. To be honest, I think my journey was probably easier than the journeys of many others. And also, I hope the story of my journey is one, like a small creek that joins a stream, and other stories that joins a river that eventually joins a lake. I hope and know that the stories of those who came before and the work we have done collectively to celebrate our stories makes the journeys a little bit easier for those who follow. In the beginning, I said there were some people who think that queer folks should be ashamed of who we are. These people are not normally found in Unitarian Universalist congregations, but even though the UUA started working actively supporting the lives of gay people in 1970, I say gay because that's what our liberation movement was called back then. Even though Unitarian Universalists have been working collectively towards supporting queer lives, still there are some of us who think we are maladjusted. I did meet a licensed therapist, a UU, who told me that with therapy I could stop being gay. I politely declined her assistance. But there are people in our world who strenuously believe that queer folks, those of us in the bisexual, gay, lesbian, trans, and all of the continuums included therein, that we are a problem. They think that we are sick, either morally or mentally, and that we need to be fixed or removed. With the people who think like this, I have the hardest time engaging. I feel like there's not a middle ground in which to meet them. These are the people that frighten me. These are the people that make me understand the importance of pride, all caps. A person doesn't come into pride until they step into their own truth. This doesn't just have to be about being queer either. Your truth is your truth. Perhaps your truth is that you, as a black or brown person in our world, your truth is that your life matters, that your work and joy and play matter. Perhaps your truth is that your work is equal to the work of another human being, and that you deserve more than 82 cents on the dollar. Perhaps your truth is that you are a white, cisgendered straight man who understands that tenderness is the greatest expression of strength that there is on our planet. Each of us is on our own journey into truth. Pride is merely a celebration of all the journeys that people have taken. Now, pride does focus its attention on those of us whose journey into our power has to do with who we love and our self-love and our celebration of fully stepping into our self-understandings. The journey for us queer folk is all about leaving behind the expectations of society around us who want us to fit into little check boxes, like male or female. I have, of course, heard all the criticisms about pride parades. What was once a radical display of bravery has become a party that moves down the street. It's become too commercial. It's all about pretty young men with their shirts on flatbed trucks, dancing to too loud music, etc. This is partly the group that I mentioned earlier. Sometimes by people who don't think we should be ashamed of who we are, but that maybe we shouldn't make a big deal about it group. When I'm feeling less than charitable, I call this the "won't someone please think of the children" group. The idea here is that if you're queer, I just don't need to know about it. What the people in this camp don't seem to realize is what they have always doing and are doing is reinforcing a dramatic inequality in our society. And I do believe that many in this group don't want to do that. They just want to be comfortable. These are the co-workers who have pictures of their spouses and children on their desks or desktops, and who talk about taking kids at the zoo on the weekend. They're nice people. But they don't want to see pictures of my husband on my desk. They don't want to see the family portrait, the one of me and my husband and our dog, for example, that was our formal church directory photo. These are the same group of people who don't like it when Marvel or DC reveals that a character is gay or changes the racial understanding of a long-standing character. Recently there was a lot of controversy when DC released a live-action show of the long-running comic Titans, formerly Teen Titans, that's run since the 1960s. In the live-action show, they cast a black actress, Anna Diop, as the alien Princess Starfire. Miss Diop, by the way, is fabulous in the role. But there was pushback. I'm not going to defend the pushback. As tempting as it is, I'm not going to mock the pushback. I'm happy to say the pushback has stopped, either because the complainers who thought a yellow-skinned alien princess should be played by a white actor realized they were being stupid, or they just slinked back to wherever they came from. The same reaction happens when a character is portrayed as being queer. It's as if some wholesomeness has been stolen from the tiny world of the complainer, as if being black and or being queer lacks or is less than. And pride teaches us differently. Pride is about a victorious journey from hidden places out into the fullness of a glorious life. The thing is, no matter how much easier it is in movies or in reality now to come out to the people you love, it's still frightening. There is still the possibility of rejection and violence. And each member of the queer community still has to go on that journey from questioning who they are to embracing who we are. It starts with a whisper. Why am I different? Am I wrong to be different? And the journey never really ends. Even when someone like me, a gay man, a minister, a gay married minister married to another gay married minister, safe in our faith of Unitarian Universalism that fully embraces us, even we still continue on that journey. Maybe no longer towards self-acceptance, but to full equality. Yes, we are legally married, 6 years now, but we live in a world where some still look at us and think, I don't mind if they're gay, but do they have to talk about it? True story, happens in my church. Or think, it's appalling that two men who are homosexual are perverting the idea of clergy. So to answer the question, what's pride got to do with it? In my own necessarily myopic way, pride is my chance to not only celebrate my own journey, which has taken me from the day I looked at my bathroom mirror in my first apartment and alone whispered to my reflection, I think I might be gay, to standing here before you, proclaiming my truth, knowing I have been ordained by a church of almost 200 people who love me and believe in me and who have sent me out in the world to proclaim the power of that love. It is with this office, being an ordained minister, that I can assure people who are just starting out on their journey, you are beautiful and loved. Because I am ordained in a faith that proclaims that love is the most powerful force in the universe. Pride is about a journey, yours, and the journey of those you love. We are constantly in the process of becoming our fuller selves, realizing, actualizing, like butterflies, becoming our next self. So please hear me when I say, on your hard days, on your tired days, on the days when you just can't with these people, on the days when you don't have enough money, on the days when you are filled and riddled with self-doubt, on the days when the most frightening thing you can do is be gentle, on the days when the haters are so loud, in the nights when you doubt your own truth, please remember my words. You are beautiful and loved.
Our closing words are by Alex Swift, a rainbow flag dedication. Let this banner be a symbol of hope, a blanket of protection for those who need it, and a cape of power for those who must be empowered. Let this flag be a standard of our conviction to embody all of these things and to be the change we will upon the world. Let the will we weave to empower and protect be woven into this flag as we weave it into the world. With our blessing, let all love be sacred, all unions safeguarded, and all people free. Blessed be.
Thank you for joining our gathering today. I hope you've been inspired and lifted by sharing this time together. You can support the work and mission of this congregation with your financial contributions. For those in our chapel today, you'll find baskets at the basket to receive your gift. For those participating virtually, I invite you to take a moment to visit our website, uuamherst.org, and click on the giving link or text your gift to 833-987-1968. Please join me as we extinguish our chalice with these familiar words. Oops. Linda, will you stand in for Sam? We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Travel light and travel easy, till I see you once again. Travel light and travel easy, and remember I'm your friend. May the road rise up to greet you as you